Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Bridge City Podcast. Look, guys, this week is probably going to be our shortest episode yet.
And
As
that's
we
it. Thank you
mentioned,
very much for coming, everyone, and
yeah,
good night.
that's it. Thank you very much. Subscribe, comment, ring the bell. See you next week. Look, this week, Sam and I, as we mentioned at the end of last week's episode, we had Sam's son's Christmas concert. So we didn't manage to get up to the game to watch it. I was on my way to the concert when I got the notification on my watch. Kickoff. Oh, cool. A minute later, goal, Melbourne City. Oh my gosh. So we didn't manage to watch the game live at the stadium, or we didn't manage to watch the game at all, really. I managed to get home and watch. I think I turned it on just as the penalty was awarded
Yeah.
for the
Well,
VAR.
I was a little bit before that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I watched. So we both watched the end of the game
Yeah.
from that point. And then Sam actually went back and, for some reason, decided to put himself through the torture of watching the replay. I opted against doing that this week. The sad state of things is that I just could not be fucked watching Brisbane Roar get beat 4-1 on a replay.
It was painful.
So yeah, look, we'll have a quick chat. I'll let Sam talk about the game, his thoughts on the game. I've watched the recap. I wanted to see the goals and a couple of little highlights and things. So and then Sam will have a quick chat about where we go from here. But take it away, mate. What were your initial thoughts on the game upon rewatch or upon watching it, the
Yeah.
replay, and then take us through some of your key moments.
It was very hard watching. I think the greatest positive that I can take from that first half is our center of the park is definitely improved. We just need to have defenders basically. They're either not talking to each other or they're trying to play some sort of style that is not working for them.
Mm.
Because you watch it every time that they had the ball, we backed off like we were at the start of it, like those first 3 weeks, I think it was. That's all we ever did as defenders, and they were doing it again. Um, but when we had the ball, we looked great. It was, yeah, it's a very odd thing, but it was, yeah, sad to watch the first half. I really didn't want to, but I was like, no, I have to sort of watch it all to get the context of it, make sure that, yeah, these goals aren't just trickling in accidentally or whatever. Mind you, watching it, there was a deflection for one of the goals, and basically the second goal was stand off again. And they have this little burst of looking great with their defense where they get this great shape. They follow the man, like they don't man mark, they're more position mark, which I like. I don't like man marking. I like to positionally mark. So if a man moves, you're not having to move with him. You're just letting him move over to another person's area. Um, but I think they sort of take it a bit too literally and they just stay in their little zones and don't want to venture out of it. Van der Sar was, though, he sort of got up front a little bit as well and moving around that left and right hand sides trying to create something. So I think a bit of frustration was getting to him there and he started wanting to try and yeah, get a touch on the ball sort of thing as opposed to having people run at him. But yeah, other than that, it was like the at halftime, the home crowd booed the team, and I felt the same sort of way. Um, I just yeah, I had no answers at that stage. I just didn't know what to sort of think of where we could go from here. Um, and then yeah, the second half was it started off just as bad, but did look like a an improved squad in that second half. Brissett coming on, um, he just I don't know, he must have had a fire up his ass because every time he got the ball, all he was trying to do was move forward with it.
Yep.
And the players with him on the left hand side were responding. So it looked really, really good up our left hand side. Right hand side was sort of very generic. Run up the right hand side, put a cross in, or run up the right hand side, bring it back, pass it in. It was, yeah, very generic that side. There was no creativity whatsoever. And the middle of the park was sort of the same, very stale, but at least they were there. They were actually seemed like an attacking midfield as opposed to a defensive standoff midfield or a non-existent midfield as we've gotten used to. But my highlights for the match are definitely Brissett. He's what we need to yeah, build the place around. Someone with his attitude. I just want to go forward. I just want to score goals. Yes, let's all do that.
Yeah.
Um, I really don't think if it's hard to say. Like Gilroy, I felt like he was the issue. I say in inverted commas, the issue. He had a couple of shitters and it led to goals. But then I think he got taken off and Corey Brown came on, and then they scored it the exact same way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was sort of like, well, maybe it's not just him. Maybe it's a bit too much as being expected of the one left back. Um, yeah, because you watch that, I think it's the third goal where they crossed the ball. Yeah, he ran up the middle of the park and crossed that ball over to the attacking player. That, like, he was, I don't know what he was supposed to do there because he basically either stayed on one man and they pass it to the other, or he tries to hold the middle and intercept the ball, which I think is what he was going for, but it was just such a brilliant pass straight to the man
And a great
that he
finish.
just, yeah, that he just could only do what he did, which is stand in the way, and it just curled it around him. It was, yeah. Yeah, two of the goals were excellent finishes. They were that I think it was the second one, that one where they sort of, yeah, crossed it across and it rebounded back and he just fucking smashed it into the back of the net. That was, yeah, I love those sort of goals. And then I think their fourth one was just a like, yeah, non-existent. I think, yeah, that's, yeah, it was. I'm just pulling it up now. Yeah, just non-existent left back again. So
Yeah.
I don't know who was. I think that was the Brown one. Yeah, so that was the Brown one. That was what I was talking about. So pretty much the exact same way that they went through Bert Gilroy, they went through Brown. So maybe it was just really good tactics on their behalf that they have seen something in the last 6 weeks that was easily exposed there. Um, and yeah, that was, yeah, exploited. What was it?
Yeah. That first
Two. It was
goal.
at least two goals that were definitely from it.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the other one was sort of more just luck.
The
It
the
felt
the,
like
the first goal was the one where Scott Neville got his pocket picked,
no,
and
that was
then there was the deflection, like you said.
yep.
And then the second one was that one where, yeah, I think like Gilroy just runs away from Cohen. He
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 just
was
he
he
just
was
is
marking him. He was
yeah, it
marking him,
was,
and
yeah.
then
And then
he just ran away from him
yeah, because
and
and
left him
all I
open.
can see there is that's there's another man unmarked that's on the 18-yard box, and I think he's just trying to cover like because all of the other friggin' backs are I don't know having a tea party over in the 18-yard box on the right hand side. So I think he's just sort of yeah, sort of sweeper came across and yeah, got Dunskies.
But you watch the replay, and it's like Gilroy's here, and oh, sorry for anyone who's listening on the podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, you're seeing what my fingers are doing. But
What
like,
we're trying to say is go to YouTube,
yeah,
guys.
go watch the YouTube. But Gilroy's here and Cohen's here. He's marking him, and then it's like Gilroy goes like this, and so Cohen just goes,
Yeah, he just
and
pulls
then
him away. Yeah,
that's how they just like two opposite opposing magnets. It was
yeah,
really weird to watch that. Um, my thoughts, because I mean, obviously I didn't watch the whole game. I didn't watch the game. I watched
yeah.
the replays, the highlights, and that first goal, and even I think possibly the if it was the second or maybe the third goal, was the result of us pretending that we can play out from the back like we've been
Yep,
doing for
it
the last
happened.
6 or 7 weeks and
And
getting
and
the
the first half was a lot of frustration like that, where they didn't even need to press.
yeah. But
Yeah,
they were playing a high press.
they were
They were
playing the high
by the
press,
looks
but
of it.
they didn't need to
Mm.
because we I don't know, we were just given this shit ball. Like the one that really frustrates you where they don't pass it in front of them.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah.
that was what was happening. It was either a behind pass or a ball straight to their feet where they just had to stop,
I think we
and then
should
that
like
allowed the player in.
we should let everyone know for people who maybe haven't listened to the podcast before, but like I think it might have even been the first or second episode where we talked about a couple of those kind of things, Sam.
Yep,
One of the things that really frustrates both Sam and I is I'll try and articulate it as best as I can, but basically when the ball isn't played in front of the player, and this happens time and time again in the A League, and the Socceroos are guilty of it
yep.
as
Soccer is
well.
big
It's
time
an
at the moment.
Australian thing. So a good example would be you've made a you've pinched the ball. You know, like maybe say someone like Waleed Shua has pinched the ball, sort of like maybe between the 18-yard box and the halfway semicircle. He's pinched the ball there. We've got the team on the back foot. Someone's making a run down the right, and the ball gets played behind them, and they have
Yeah,
to run back to get the ball. The defenders turn around, the defense gets set, and then the ball ends up 9 times out of 10 getting played back to the defense. Or
yeah. Back to the
um,
goalkeeper.
yeah, it
Back to the
kills the
den.
momentum. It kills the momentum of the attack, and the teams that have some of those quality imports. I can't really think of any off the top of my head from teams this season, but I mean, Costa would be one for Sydney.
Yeah,
Players like that who have got that experience and they play those balls into the right areas. Village Jaman, when he drops back and plays a distributor role before he moves back up the front, these kind of players, they play the ball in front of the player so that the attacker gets it in stride and
yeah.
keeps the defense on the back foot, keeps the defense retreating, rather than having to stop, run back to get the ball and kill the momentum. So that's just one of the things that both Sam and I get really, really frustrated with. And so apparently, Sam, that was happening a lot in that first half by the sounds of it.
Yes, yeah. And it was very frustrating because we had good opportunities. And it really, really pissed me off. Like we had one particular one where if we had played the ball in front of Zabala, he would have had two men in front of him on two men. And the ball got played in behind him. I think it was, what was it? No, it was up the middle. Yeah, so it might have even been from the goalkeeper to him. And then Zabala, yeah, if he had the ball in front of him as opposed to beside, or basically to him, yeah, he would have been able to continue that run, and it would have been, yeah, 2-on-2. And yeah, and I was just so frustrated with it. And yeah, but the second half was much better to watch, as like even though we were still losing quite considerably, it just felt like I don't know if it was the like changes that we made at pretty much halftime. Because we put what do we do? We took put Brissett on
Mm-hmm.
and Van der Sar on for Berenguer.
Okay.
And yeah, it was I don't know, it just seemed like there was more happening, especially that left hand side.
Yeah.
And then looking at the stats now, I didn't even realize like we had more possession again and losing by multiple goals again.
Yeah, I watched just before we jumped on, Sam. I watched Zadkovic's press conference for like
Yeah,
the pre-match press conference for this week, and he talked about the fact that like rattling off the stats, saying that we own the possession and this and that. It's like, yeah, but like, what good is that? Like,
exactly.
what?
And going back, I'd love to have organized it beforehand, but like we go the MacArthur 4-all game, you go to that one, we had 37% possession and we drew.
Yeah.
Then the 3-2 against Adelaide, we had 61. We had 39% possession and we scored 2 goals. But it seems like we don't need much possession to score goals. So, or having all of the possession in the world. So, victory, we lost 2-0. We had 63% of possession.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, when
I
we have
think
all the possession, we're not doing fucking anything with it.
yeah,
Sorry for
that's the
my.
really frustrating thing. Like there's a difference between dominating a game and
Mm,
like winning the possession stats, and that's just that's an example of it. Like you can dominate a game and not have the possession. Like Melbourne
yeah,
City dominated that game, and we had by a slim margin we had the share of the possession, but
yeah,
they smashed us. And yeah, I mean, it's very concerning, mate. That that's 2 weeks in a row that we've conceded 4 goals.
yeah,
I mean, the fact that we scored four in that previous game, we've scored a couple of goals in the previous games before that. We maybe should have scored at least 2 goals in this game. Like, I think the the attack side of things is okay, but the defense is what's letting us down.
yeah, yeah.
It's just horrible.
It really is, yeah.
It's horrible to watch. They've got no idea what they're doing. Um,
And and
and
and if you get a chance, even everyone listening, just pull up the full replay and watch the second and fourth goals that their second and fourth goal that they score. It is just like you're watching it standoff, standoff, standoff. 4 players, no, 3 players at least
yeah,
getting drawn towards the ball, leaving 1 to 3 players unmarked in the 18-yard box, and
yeah.
it's happening every week. It's happening every time that they are running up, and it's either we shut it down in the cross or we get lucky and they miss.
The teams have
That's
got it. They've got it figured out because the same
yeah,
thing's happening over and over again. Just Sam, I just thought you talked about I think it's the third goal,
yeah,
where I think it was Shaw who was chasing the player through the middle. Like
yeah, yeah,
we've got us, like we haven't won a game. We're getting smashed. We're leaking 4 goals a game. They've just got to start taking some players out in those key positions. Like if you know
yeah,
the player's going to get away from you, if you're not on a yellow already, just take one for the team. Like
yeah.
there's no point in being best and fairest at the end of the year if we're on 2 points.
Yeah. I think
um,
the old '90s Wimbledon team sort of certainly showed you how to do that. You're going
yeah,
to beat
like
us
I
now?
mean,
Fuck off! You're going to take your legs out.
maybe not. Maybe we don't need to go full Vinnie Jones or Kevin Muscat on players, but just in those key moments, like
Yeah,
you know
just
that
stop
you
the play there.
just
Yep.
take the legs out and or pull them back, tackle them like a rugby league
Yeah.
tackle or whatever. Like it's cynical as, but and
Take,
it's
take
I
the
don't.
take the yellow. Continue on. Yep.
Some people probably disagree with it, with like us saying that, but I mean, unless I think for anyone who's played the game before, like you realize that those things they're part of the game
That's
and
yeah. You use it as a
they need to be
tactic.
done. Yeah, and
There's a reason that there's a yellow, and there's a reason that there's a red.
yeah,
Yeah. Use your yellow.
because yeah, like it's what's the point in going through a game without a yellow card if you're copying 4 goals? Like,
Yep.
stop it. You know the player's going to get away from you. You can players in like that experience and in those positions, they would know that hey, if this guy gets around me, they're on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just those little match awareness key moments in games. Like where things like that are just for some reason it's not happening.
Definitely was happy. Yeah.
Like not staying focused after scoring a goal is something that we've been guilty of time and time again this year.
I think
And then
that's
just
6 goals at least that we've copped on the other side of either the other side of a kickoff or the other side of a goal that
yeah,
we've scored.
yeah, yeah. Um, well, look, mate, we're actually probably going about as long as we normally do
Yeah,
for
I
one
know.
episode
Well, there
anyway.
is 2 more things that I want to talk about.
Okay, well, yeah, let's
One,
go.
one, one is Sadkovic. Like I have been waiting and waiting this week to hear any sort of news. Nothing. Which is really weird because I remember Zach and Kaz going on and on about how transparent and whatnot they were going to be, and it's all disappearing again.
Hmm.
We're not hearing much from them anymore. I hear more from them through um, like what's it called, the um, Brisbane Roar support group
The
thing.
RSF.
Yeah, them. Yeah. Yeah. So I hear more from them than I do from
Yeah,
the actual guys
that's
themselves.
that's because a lot of people, myself kind of included, feel like the RSF is more like just a mouthpiece for the club. But
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
yeah,
and it does feel like it. But yeah,
yeah, I was just going to touch on Zadkovic's pre-match press conference where
yep.
they one of the journalists asked what he's looking at doing in the transfer window, the upcoming January transfer window, and he gave like a token answer of I'm worried about the games at the moment. I'm not really worried about the upcoming. I'm not focusing on
Why?
the
Why aren't we
upcoming
focusing on it?
transfer window. But then he said, "Oh, like we spoke about it, before the season that it's probably going to take a good three transfer windows for us to get the team that we want." And that's like, mate,
You're not going to last three fucking transfer windows, mate.
I don't think you're going to be
Jesus.
here for more than two or three games, let alone another three transfer windows. So, yeah, frustrating, mate. What was the other thing that you had that you wanted
Oh,
to?
there was another thing. The blue jersey.
Oh yeah,
I and I'm starting to see it in comments now. So I was just bringing up a couple of the later posts that they've put up, trying to see if anyone had any more comments on there. But yeah, literally just keep seeing people commenting, when are the blue jerseys coming out? When are the blue jerseys coming out? We're now what, week 8, whatever it is. I
oh
don't even know how many games we played. So yeah, so this is week 8. And we're still not seeing the blue jersey available. So is it
yeah,
going to this year? Because Christmas would have been a really great time to maybe
yeah,
release something. Oh yeah,
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
just yeah, very painful to because that's one of the jerseys that I really wanted because it's a pretty cool jersey.
yeah.
But yeah, just frustrating that we're not hearing anything.
You don't want me to get the orange shorts for you?
Yeah, I'll get the orange shorts. I'll wear nothing but the orange shorts in the next game. Um, yeah, just those little things are starting to get really painful to like not read anything about, or not like not there's no response from them or
Yeah.
anything. Like
I,
they're getting
I
they're getting what, 25 to 30 people commenting on their, like, it's not like it's a really hard job to stay on top of your social media. Like fucking employ me. I'll respond to people.
yeah,
That's all people want is, there's been a delay with them.
yeah,
How hard's that?
yeah, and give us an ETA.
Yep.
I saw they had there was another balls up this week. They posted, "Hey, everyone, you can get your jerseys personalized at the game tonight." And then
Yeah.
5 minutes later, oh wait, no, sorry, you can't.
Yeah, we'll have to be next week, next game, because it's actually, if anyone that listens is keen on doing it, do it. I think my dad is as well, but I would be keen getting mine done as well. Um, I saw they're the same company that do the Broncos games.
Okay,
And they're really decent. Yeah, they're really good quality. So yeah,
actually, talking about that, this is completely unrelated to the podcast, but on my trip to the States earlier this year, I was wandering around um, when I was in LA. I stayed in Glendale for one night, and I was wandering around the mall at Glendale, and there's a LA Dodgers shop, like not like a
sick.
sports shop, it's a LA
Yeah,
Dodgers
just the Dodgers
store.
shop. Yeah,
Yeah, and they've got this massive machine at the front counter where they embroider your name on the
yeah,
jersey
yeah.
in front of you.
Sick.
Yeah, really cool.
It's
So
just like that. It's the same sort of thing. Like you give them your jersey and they print it while you're standing there. Like it's, yeah, pretty cool.
maybe we should get a Bridge City
Yeah,
shirt
well,
done
that's what.
up.
Yeah, maybe we do that. Yeah,
and then have that hanging up in the background instead of
My
that
instead of my
behind you.
rubbish.
Yeah.
Isn't it beautiful? There
So,
is
what?
toys and DVDs, and it's because I've moved out of the baby room. So
Yeah, you guys have got a baby on the way,
um,
so you're rearranging.
yeah.
Um,
And then the other thing was that I was watching Dom's ball chat.
oh yeah,
Yeah, and him vlogging the game. It was actually really good to like because we couldn't be there. It was actually good seeing that like little view of how he was doing it, and it was really cool where he's sitting. You can see the screen
the screen. Yeah,
behind him. So as he sort of does his little commentary on it, you can see the screen. I was like, oh, yeah, that's a clever way of getting around that.
yeah. Dom's
Because
pretty like he's pretty cool the way he does that and like
yeah.
filming his reactions to key moments and stuff.
Mm.
Shout out to Dom. Hopefully, if we, yeah, I don't know, did we have another home game this season? It feels like we've got
Yeah,
none.
well we've got one on the 21st, I think it is, but I'll be doing a Christmas party on the 21st, so I'll be missing that one, but maybe you can take Parker and Dad
Okay, yeah.
and
So
go to that
hopefully we'll
game.
catch up with some of you guys, Dom and Jacob, and who are some of our other listeners that we've got, John, um, Nick, and a whole bunch of other people. Hopefully, you guys can flag us down and say g'day, get a photo together or something for us to chuck up on Instagram. Um, Speaking of that, mate, we've got another a comment from last week's
Oh,
YouTube
cool.
video.
Sweet. I haven't actually had a look. Yeah, cool.
So this is from Nicholas, and he said, "Great content as usual, guys. Been listening from the very start. I agree that having Neville back was immense, and Zabala was great playing in his actual position. Sadkovic definitely needs to work on the transition of the ball from defence through to midfield, no outlets, and few players making runs or creating space." And yes, pretty spot on,
Copy,
and
copy and paste.
yeah, exactly what we were talking about last week, mate. So thanks, Nicholas, for leaving us a comment. Yeah, look, mate. I mean, I was pretty disappointed with the fact that we got smashed and at home again.
Yeah.
I just think we're reaching the point now where like we've spoken about this time and time again on the podcast, mate. That people outside of someone like us that has an extremely tiny reach, like
Yeah.
however many tens of people that listen to us every week, we're not going to change the world, but we need people in key areas of influence within the game to start talking about what's going on at the club. Like
Yep. Definitely.
I'm like I've mentioned before on the podcast, I'm pretty disappointed with, like the likes of Simon Hill, Danny McBreen, Robbie Thompson, these guys who commentate the Paramount games. I realize they're being paid,
By
like
Paramount. Yep.
by Paramount and probably, like by Football Australia. There's probably some thing in their contract or whatever where they don't want to be controversial, but they've got to look at the fact that there was 6,000 people at that game. That's two games in a row where we've lost by 4 goals. The team's on the bottom of the ladder. Things are not good at Brisbane Roar. Like as much as Sack and Kaz want to try and put a spin on it, it's time for people to start being honest. And things aren't well, and someone needs to start speaking out about the ownership. Um, I mean, the players have to take responsibility, the management have to take responsibility, and someone needs to start pressing the Backeries to take some responsibility. I mean,
Yeah, gotcha.
they can talk about the money that they've put into the club all they want, but we haven't seen a fucking result from it in 10 years. So, yeah, that's just my little parting word, mate. I mean, I didn't even want to watch, a replay of the game this week.
Yeah,
And
which is
I'll normally
sad.
always watch a game. And I'm not the only one. I mean, there's a reason that there's 6,000 people in a 55,000 seat stadium.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my little rant for the week, and I'll probably do the same rant 5 times again this season, like I did last season. But yeah, I just had to say it. So, look, before we go, I just wanted to say, everyone, very happy birthday to Sam for this week. It was his birthday on Tuesday, and we
Mhm.
went out for dinner on Monday, and I got him a little present. You might be able, if you're watching on YouTube, you might be able to see him a little bit clearer. I got him a little pro influences of ring light. So yeah, like I said last year, we're going to very slowly try and upgrade our gear a
Yeah.
little bit.
I'm on my crappy camera today as well, so I do apologize for the static movement, and it's a Microsoft camera that I'm pretty sure they haven't produced in 25 years. So
Yeah, it's so old.
yeah,
Right. Well, look, thanks everyone for listening. Actually, who have we got this week, Sam?
we got Western Sydney, so we
Western
should lose
Sydney.
by a little less than usual.
Yeah.
No, they've scored 13 goals this year, so maybe 4-1, 4-2, 5-1.
Oh man, we'll see. It'll probably be the one game where one matter finally turns it on,
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's it. And he'll score 1,000 goals
Brendan
against
Barello will
us.
score a bicycle kick from 40 meters out, and one of our defenders will fall and trip and backheel it into the goal from halfway or some shit. I don't know.
That'll definitely be it. We definitely need to verse Perth Glory s- sooner rather than later
They'll probably
because
they'll probably beat us.
they probably will. They've only scored 4 goals this season, so
They got
we
Adam Taggart. They've always got Adam
yeah.
Taggart, and our defense is not very good. So I wouldn't put past Perth pulling it out of the
Mm.
fire and smashing us too. Um, I was gonna,
So does
yeah.
does Ruben Zadkovich last another week? What do you think?
Well, I mean,
Do
I
you
thought
think
he'd be
it's
gone after.
completely dependent on results, or do you think they're currently looking for someone and they're just waiting? Or do you reckon they're actually being patient with him?
Well, this is the thing. I did see some. It might have been on Twitter or somewhere today. I did see someone say, like, are the club actually going to stick with him and let him go through these three transfer windows and do the whole rebuild thing? Um, I don't know, mate. I thought he would be gone after this week, to be honest, after
Yeah,
losing 4-1 at home, and he's still here. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know how much patience the club have got. I mean, it's a results-driven game,
yep,
and we're not a develop. It's not a youth squad. Like, we're not playing in a youth league. We're playing in the A League.
yeah,
We're playing for a spot in Asia. I mean, not this season,
yeah,
not now, but that's the incentive. Like that's what the incentive is for all of the teams every year is to
yeah.
win the A League and get yourself a spot in Asia. So I don't know. Who knows? Like we said last week, Bessart. If you,
Well, he can't come till mid-January, so maybe they're just waiting.
no, we can fire the manager and put a manager on at any time. But
No, but as in, I mean, he's got his training camps
oh,
until
oh,
mid-January, so he probably
okay.
won't want to step away from. It's like $350 a kid.
To be
So
honest, as well, like at the moment, the way the club is, I would actually feel pretty bad for someone like a legend of the club like Bessart to come in as a
yeah,
coach. And I mean, what's he going to do? I mean,
can't do any worse. So
he could do like a Van Nistelrooy and
mind you,
like
that's probably what Zadkovich thought when he took the job. Oh, well, can't do any worse.
yeah, you can. You're doing it, buddy. You're doing
Uh,
worse. Yeah. Look, I don't have an answer for that, mate. I honestly
yeah,
thought he'd be gone after this week. So who knows? I mean, if we get thrashed again this week, and it's yeah, who
very
knows, mate?
likely,
Yes.
very
What
likely.
do you think?
I have a feeling that they're going to be super patient with him, and that the
Hmm.
fans are going to get very, very fucking frustrated with this.
I mean, yeah, I
I
think
have that feeling that the fact that there was nothing said this week, there was no typical like he has the backing of the club, that old chestnut. There was none of that. We didn't have any communication. They're just going, no, ignore it. It didn't happen. Like, yeah, we're still winning the possession.
but our pass accuracy is so good.
Yeah, we're matching them. Like, why aren't we scoring the 4 goals?
Mm,
We had
yeah,
494 passes to their 499. Yeah, I don't know
it's because their
what
passes
their
go
end
forward.
game is. I don't
Their
know if
passes go forward. That's why.
are we a public company? Can you invest in us? Are they just
Uh,
trying to do the what's it called where you bet against the the stock?
like a pump and dump or something, or
Yeah, they're just trying to do a dump and dump, a dump and burn is what's happening right now. It's
a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but there are some people out there who think that the backers are just running the club as a tax write-off, and to be honest, that's what it feels like.
yep,
I mean, yeah, we've spoken about it before, but just look at Auckland FC, mate. The best start to a season by a new team ever. Um, they've got built an amazing supporter group from nothing,
yeah.
selling out games every week. On top of the table,
Had one goal scored against them.
one goal scored against them. We've had 8 in 2 games,
Yeah,
and
we've had 18 scored against us.
they've got a billionaire owner who's actually invested in the club, not just with their money and their tax write off, but with his heart, by the sounds of it
Yeah,
as
by the
well.
sounds of it, he's in it. Yeah,
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe he wants to buy 2 clubs. Maybe he wants one in New Zealand, one in Australia.
yeah, that's
Maybe
it. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. There's plenty of billionaires out there. Maybe I mean, they're all assholes. They're all
yeah,
scumbags, but we just need to maybe get someone who's not as big a scumbag. Maybe Richard Branson. Maybe we could be the Virgin Roar.
yeah. Virgin Roar. Love that.
That
Brisbane
sounds
Virgins.
that sounds horrible. Raw virgins. Anyway, yeah, before we get ourselves cancelled, we should probably stop talking about that kind of stuff. All right, mate.
So
Well, look, I honest.
predictions for the game. What do you reckon?
Um,
I'm going to say we win.
okay.
I actually reckon we'll win this game,
I mean,
which
always
is
hope for the best and prepare for the
yeah,
worst.
that's true.
So what's the score then?
I reckon it's depending on our lineup because it sucks with this. Like you have to wait until fucking 5 minutes before the game to see a lineup. But I if it's a similar sort of lineup to what we had this week, so pretty much the exact same lineup. Yeah, I'd be putting it somewhere. We'd be like a 3-2. I reckon we'll come out firing like we did 2 matches ago. I think that is the blueprint for how we should run at the moment. And yeah, I think if we're doing that, if Gilroy's made way and it's Corey Brown starting, um, and then bringing Gilroy on later, I really think we can probably get away with it then. Get someone a bit more stable in there to shore up the defense first, and
Mhm.
then bring on that attacking minded fullback. I'm going 3-2.
Sorry, everyone. I'm yawning.
That's right. Yeah, I'm very
Um,
boring.
no, you're not, mate. I'm just tired.
It
My
is 10
prediction.
o'clock, so
Sorry.
it is 10 p.m., so it's way past our bedtime.
Yeah, I'm an old man. Still got to go for me walk for my stroll yet. I'm gonna say we're gonna lose 3 or 4-1.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Um, as sad as that
Which
is,
stats would say that that's probably about right. So,
I think we're going to be possibly staring down conceding 12 goals in 3 games. I just
yeah,
don't know how Sadkovic is going to stop the rot now that it's well and truly set in now, as far as I'm
yeah,
concerned.
yep,
He's tinkered with the defense every game. I think has had a different backline. I think. Oh, actually, no. The last 2 games, he's named an unnamed squad. So, but prior to that, every week was a different lineup.
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think 3 or 4-1 to Western Sydney, unfortunately, and I predict that Barello will probably score 2 goals.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, we'll leave it there. It's gone probably longer than what our normal episodes normally
Definitely,
go
yeah.
anyway. I thought we were just going to be really depressed about the game, which we are and we were.
Yeah,
But yeah, we ended up having a good little chat. Yeah, thanks everyone for listening or watching. And if you are listening on the podcast, don't forget we do have the YouTube channel. So we would love everyone to watch the YouTube and leave us comments on there because we can actually respond to you guys and talk to you on there. We've got the Instagram up and running. Haven't been very active on it. That's my fault. Sorry,
yeah.
Sam.
We'll definitely get onto it.
Yeah, it's
But I'll yeah
not
before
the
the
highest priority for me at the moment. That's all.
yeah I'll definitely jump on a live on TikTok this game because I we'll obviously be sitting at home watching it. So yeah, we'll jump on there and have a chat about how bad it's all going, and I'll probably jump on live at halftime as well, and
Yeah,
have a chin wag to the four people that accidentally click on my live. I have no idea what's going on or
yeah,
listening. I don't understand my accent either. So yeah, but I was just having a quick look at the um, holy shit, at the odds for the game, and the good old 2-1 is their predicted. Western Sydney Wanderers 2-1. So
okay.
that's there you go. That's the
Sam
most likely outcome.
Sam loves a little sports bet. I
Oh,
don't. So Sam,
I love the stats on it. That's what I love because they obviously
you
are
love
very
losing
good with
money.
their stats.
That's
Yeah,
what you
that's
love.
it. Yeah.
Um, all right, we'll actually try and wrap it up now, mate. Yeah, guys, if you listen on Spotify or Apple or whatever, leave us a review there. Go and watch us on YouTube. Leave us a comment so we can get to know you guys a little bit. Look us up on Instagram and TikTok.
Yep.
And then as I am less lazy, perhaps I might be able to create some other social media or whatever. But yeah, thanks for listening. Um, let's keep our fingers crossed that Sam's prediction comes true this week, and it
Got a
might be
feeling. I have a
maybe a.
feeling.
It would be nice to have an upbeat episode this season, at least one. Thanks for listening, guys. You've been listening to Bridge City. I'm Andrew.
I'm Sam.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.